Start learning early and dive in and become an expert at something. Find something that kind of you're passionate about, no matter what it is.
Justin Banner, serial entrepreneur and creator of Noggin, helping business owners break free with automated systems, smarter ops, and the kind of freedom that lets your business run without you.
Experts are paid so much better than generalists, and just identify that thing that makes you hungry. It doesn't matter what it is. You can get paid for almost anything, but an expert skill set is worth 10 times what a generalist.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornen back with another edition of the Scaling Up Success podcast brought to you by Synergist. Synergist is your fractional operations team that helps you grow exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Go check out synergist.com. Today, I have on Justin Banner he's got all kinds of different things going on, and I'm just super excited to jump into it with him. Justin, how are you today?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me on, Ryan.
Absolutely, man. Excited to have you. So, tell us a little bit about what you got going on, because I know you have multiple platforms and everything going on right now, right?
Yeah, I do for sure. Digital marketing is kind of the tip of the spear for me. It's what I do in my expertise, but it gets deployed across different businesses, different verticals at different times. But it's a skill set that crosses everything and that's needed today. But I'm working on a project called Noggin right now, my latest venture.
So let's dive into that a little bit deeper. What is Noggin all about?
Yeah, so it came to us as we had a friend that was just sick and tired of his restaurant. He was actually doing really well with it and had done a great turnaround on it down in Tampa area. But he felt like he was married to his business and he felt like he couldn't leave the business. So he's like, my business did great, but I traded my personal life for it. And is there anything I can do to scale this better? Because his kind of chief complaint was that when he left, nothing got done. And well, it's kind of a sign of systems, right? Or a lack of systems, a lack of process. And a lot of small businesses run into this. We found that it's not unique to restaurants, but that's where we started because that was a very common problem that they all had. And so we got to work for about a year on that problem. What do we do? How does he, document what needs to be done? How does he figure out if things need to be done? And what if he's gone? Like a lot of small business owners are married to their business, and if they go fishing for a day, heaven forbid, the business doesn't continue to operate. And so we worked on that, and we ended up creating Noggin, which is really an automated set of digital checklists that get assigned out to positions within the business. Now, every business has some kind of checklist. And so that was how we got this business born, is we created a system for him that when he was gone, those checklists would still get assigned to positions. Didn't matter who was there that day. Whoever was in that position got assigned that checklist. And then remotely, he could start checking to see what got done. So he was given visibility for the first time into his operation when he wasn't there. So that was how this got kick-started and rolling.
That is super cool, man. So as you built this thing out, what phases are you most proud of how you built this thing out?
Yeah, so we definitely were a fail fast mindset. Get something out, get feedback, and fail fast. And we're still in that process, quite honestly, of getting our MVP got out to our alpha group about 6 months ago. And we got it in their hands, and we didn't want 100 customers. We really limited it to 10. And those 10 were just to give us feedback on what they loved and what they hated. And that became a really valuable feedback loop. And we're probably in our sixth iteration with that group. How do we make it better? How do we make it smoother? How do we make it more valuable to you? What do we take out of it? And so I'm most proud of the fact that we went to market with the mindset that we're going to fail fast and iterate quickly.
I love that, man. So have you had any unexpected opportunities come from the way that you've been building out?
Yeah, tons. And the most surprising one, honestly, was this was built for restaurants, but we have got it in the hands of so many other verticals, things I've never even expected. And people are like, I can use this. This applies to my business. And so the unexpected surprise was that how widely or how widespread a problem this is. How many businesses struggle with systemizing their business, automating it, and following through when they're not there. Most operators we're finding are great when they're there as I call it, in the process and not on top of the process, right? And so the surprising thing that you asked is how many verticals this applies to. All it is a small business owner problem.
Now, I really can see that across the board, and it's really cool to see that you're solving a problem like that. So, like, has this, when you've continued to build this out for yourself, has this changed like your habits, and the way that you look at ideas in business?
For sure. I'm a sales and marketing guy, and by definition, we shoot from the hip, right? It's like, we're going to try this, we're going to try this, we're going to say this, we're going to do this. But I started creating systems and checklists around marketing. And by doing so, like our outreach efforts, what does that look like? Is the list getting done? Is it getting done on a regular basis? Would somebody know how to do it if I died tomorrow or quit or whatever? Like, is there a process in place that's repeatable, that's documented, and that someone could do on their own? And so I've applied it to sales and marketing. And, marketing guys and sales guys, they don't like checklists, but it's really awesome to have somebody start and say, here's our playbook. This is what we do. Instead of, hey, just get on the phone and talk to somebody. It really is cool to say, this is what's worked. This is the playbook that's working. This is how we're closing. These are the buzzwords. And so I've gone through the process now of doing it both on the marketing side, our outreach efforts, as well as the sales side, and how we're going to onboard sales, new salespeople when they join.
That's fantastic. So, like, what do you feel like the landscape of for business owners has changed over like since COVID? And like, are we in a new type of environment that way?
Yeah, I don't really equate it so much to COVID, although it did shift the business landscape. The only thing I could really put my finger on there is the remote concept got a lot cooler and a lot more acceptable. It wasn't you were a cheapskate if you wanted to Zoom now. It's kind of like this is how we do business now. So travel isn't as necessary. Remote teams are a lot more acceptable. People working wherever they want is a lot more acceptable. But the thing that is flipping business on its head more than that is AI for sure. And that is the opportunity for sure that exists before us. That's probably a gold rush, unlike anything we've seen since the internet was created, I believe.
I'm seeing the same thing, and I think it's really interesting the way that it's continuing to build out and like grow and like change. Like, I mean, it seems like it's changing every week, with different models that are coming out, and being able to build your own agents behind the scenes is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, we're definitely in the early adopter phase, which is pretty fascinating because it's kind of like people are just hacking their way through this. But I really believe it's going to touch every corner of the universe, not just business, in the next 10 years. There will be very few things, processes that we do in our life. Our phones are going to change dramatically. Everything that we interact with is going to be related to the amazing wizardry of AI. It's not going to replace everything, it's going to change everything.
I would agree on that 100% as well. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. One of the things that we do on this podcast is do a little rapid fire questions, get to know the founder a little bit more on a personal level. You up for something like that?
Yeah, bring it on, man. I love it.
Awesome. All right. So what book are you reading, or do you have like a favorite podcast that you listen to?
Yeah, I listen to so many things. I am a big believer, especially in the sales and marketing side, that if you're not reading, you're going backwards. If you're not listening, you're going backwards. I personally prefer to listen, but man, there's so many that I listen to. I love the ClickFunnels podcast. He's just really great at breaking down marketing and all the different ways to acquire customers. Russell Brunson's one of the best marketers and salespeople I know. So I love his podcast. I love what he does. And he makes it so actionable as opposed to theoretical. And so that's one that I probably consume several times a week.
Awesome. Do you what are you drinking beverage wise? Like coffee, tea, soda, energy drinks, water? What do you got?
Something with caffeine. Yeah, exactly. I start out my morning with a workout drink, a pre-workout drink, and then I kind of taper it down throughout the day. I might have a Diet Mountain Dew around lunchtime, and then I try to start getting into wind down mode in the afternoon. But I definitely am a caffeinated beverage guy. Typically, the form of a workout drink or maybe a Diet Dew on a good day.
I feel you on that one. Well, in the model of what we're talking about with the workout side of stuff, like do you have a favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let me think about that. I love a good piece of meat. It's not really a cheat meal, but I guess the cheap part of that, like a good filet mignon, would be a cheap meal. The cheap part of that would be the sides, like some good mac and cheese, mashed potatoes. There's nothing wrong with that. My wife's from the South, so if I'm cheating, I'm going all in on that.
I love it, man. Very cool. If you could have dinner with one historical figure, either living or deceased, who would you want to pick their brain?
Abraham Lincoln. I love that guy. I've studied him so much. Either that or Winston Churchill, how he endured the first part of World War II. Like, those two things are just amazing. How I love to see how these guys stood up in the face of all odds. Like Abraham Lincoln, the country was collapsing, democracy was hanging by a thread. How did you sleep at night? Like, how did that,
Absolutely.
like, how did you have vision and give the speeches you did? And, and then Churchill, same thing. There was no light at the end of that tunnel until the U.S. joined the war, and he still created optimism and hope for his people in spite of all odds. Those are two guys I would love to pick their brain. How did you do it?
Fantastic, man. One, are you an early bird, or two, are you a night owl?
Man, I'm the worst of both of those. I stay up late and my body gets up early. So, but by nature, I prefer nights. I'm not a morning person, but my body wakes up around 6 a.m. no matter what time I go to bed. So I get kick started with my energy drink in the morning or my workout drink to get going. But as far as my brain and my mind, it prefers evening.
Nice. Okay. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Oh wow. I'm gonna stick with your theme there of time travel, right? And go back to different periods of time and just spend a day in the life of some of those people, eons ago to 100 years ago to 50 years ago, and just feel how the universe has changed in that time period would be fascinating.
I dig it. Lastly, well, I got two left.
Yep.
What's on your workout playlist? Like, what are you bumping?
Yeah, you know what? I do Pandora, and it depends on my mood. I'm usually doing a podcast during my workout, but you have to know, like Pussycat Dolls Radio. I think that's kind of fun, just because it's like super upbeat. You never know what's going to come through there, but it brings energy to a good workout.
I dig it, man. Lastly, like, do you have a bucket list travel spot you want to go to still?
I've been lucky. I have checked off so many of those, but for my would love to do an African safari still. That is one that I have not done. I want to go camp out on the jungle or the yeah, the desert, the jungle, all the things. They have all the things, but they
The
have all the cool
savannah.
animals. Yeah, the savannah. I want to go hang out and sleep on top of the truck with a guide and have him guard me at night with a gun. It's amazing.
Very cool, man. Well, you absolutely crushed the rapid fire section of our Scaling Up Success podcast today, man. Great job.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You didn't give me a heads up on that, but it was fun.
Now, if you could go back, we're going to go through that time travel a little bit here. If we could go back to your younger self, like, getting out of high school, what's that one piece of advice you give somebody?
Start learning early. Start learning early and dive in and become an expert at something. Like find something that kind of you're passionate about, no matter what it is, and just be an expert at something. Experts are paid so much better than generalists, and it's just eat, sleep, and drink it. Like don't get enough of it. Become the best in the world at it, the best person around at it, and just identify that thing that makes you hungry that you can't get enough of. Doesn't matter what it is. You can get paid for almost anything, but an expert skill set is worth 10 times what a generalist gets paid.
Dropping knowledge bombs right there, man. That was great. Great job, man. Now, conversely, where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
And that's such a great question. I am a person that likes to build companies, and I like my superpower is from the ground up. Once it gets on the autopilot phase, I like to kind of phase myself out. But I'm on this cycle right now of about phase 4 or 5 of just starting from zero and building and scaling. And so I imagine I'll be on to the next.
Awesome, man. Well, Justin, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here. People are interested in Noggin. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, noggin.com, noggn.com. We are taking applications now on a wait list for people interested in our beta phase. So as I mentioned, we have alpha testers right now. If you want to be considered, no matter what your vertical is, get on our wait list, noggin, noggn.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast today. Really appreciate your insights. It's been a total pleasure having you on.
Hey, I appreciate the time, Ryan. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Ryan Van Ornum signing off for the Scaling Up Success podcast. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe on anything And if you have any, make sure you go back and check out those other episodes as well. Once again, thank you to our sponsorship of Synergist. Checking us out, synergist.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Until the next time, stay blessed.